Essentially, it was over a period of, say, 2 to 3 years. I owed money to the water rates people, fell behind on my council tax payments. Because for me, I felt prioritising paying the banks back before they charged me extortionate rates, and then I'll pay double council tax next month, and I'll pay double water rates the following month. And it was a case of going from job to job to job, because I was working on contracts. And sometimes I would have to take a low-paid job and commute far distances. Like I was working in Ipswich at one point, 750 miles per week travelling, commuting in and out. And it just spiraled out. It just spiraled out of debt. You know, I worked out some weeks that I was possibly earning between 40 to 70 pounds for myself, and I got to pay my rent out of that, and my rent was more than that. And then, you know, just basic things like I used to sleep in like 3 pairs of jeans and 2 cardigans because I couldn't afford to turn on the electric heater and I had no gas.
When I was in debt, I used to get up about 1 o'clock in the morning to go to the bank to try and get my money before the payday loan people would take it. So it was like, if I didn't get up at 1, I would lose the money. And then if you got the money, you'd have to pay back twice next time.
My wife took out payday loans eventually in her desperation to survive, and I didn't know that. And at the end, I'd borrowed some money off a friend, which I'd supposed to pay back after a few days or a week, and then the money wasn't there. That was the most desperate time of all, when I knew that it had all fallen on top of our shoulders. We wasn't ever going to get out of debt at that stage.
It was like a weight on my shoulders, you know. I didn't feel that I didn't have freedom. I felt like I was in bondage, is the right word to use. Lots of things that I would like to have done, I didn't do because that was on my weight on my shoulders, and I just wanted to get out of debt, but didn't know kind of where to start because it was accumulating, getting worse, you know, and you're getting threatening letters through the door. There's times when, you know, bailiff would turn up at my door and I'd be like, oh no, you know. So it was just that whole experience of not being able to feel free.
I just literally became totally reckless. I just thought, well, it's caved in. It can't get any worse. If it does, I don't care. I just lost the plot, completely lost the plot. And I fell into self-neglect. My flat, which ordinarily looks pristine, and I take pride in how I look after myself. I wasn't brushing my teeth, I wasn't washing, I stank. So there was clearly something amiss, and the constant letters coming through. I dreaded the postman coming. I just like, it just was horrible. So I just drank myself into an abyss.
The worst point for me, and probably my wife as well, was when we realised that we couldn't get through another month. We literally couldn't get through it because we both owed too much money. We had no cash flow at all, and we were struggling. We were at the end of our resources, basically.
The worst time, I think, was like when the bailiffs come. That was the worst time. They arrived early in the morning. My daughter and I just got up, knock at the door. I didn't think, I just opened the door. He put his foot in the door. I was trying to shut the door and my daughter was crying, I was crying, and eventually I had to let him in.
What happened then?
The police arrived as well, which is all totally embarrassing. You've got neighbours looking at you. There's police at my door and things like that. And I was frightened he was going to take everything we had.
Well, it had a lasting impact. We was all stressed. We nearly split up. We had arguments. My eldest son, there's probably a knock-on effect of all the years of struggle. He actually tried to commit suicide. Without going into too much detail, he threw himself in front of a train. He was 16 then, and now he's over that. He's 17 and catching up with his studies. But I'm sure that was part of the reason why he was so unhappy.
One lady I met, and she actually introduced me to CAP. she said to me, you know, Fiona, you need to meet these guys. They are absolutely fantastic. They helped me get through a lot, and they will consolidate all your debts. They come into your home, you know, here's the number. So I just made the call. By then, I just thought I have got nothing to lose. I had other little things that needed tying up, and I thought before it gets really bad, let me address it. So I made the call. One of their representatives contacted me, said they'll be coming down. And that was a moment where I had to face all of my fears, because I think I had been pushing things aside and just burying my head for a little while. And having to confront them in terms of opening letters that I just didn't open, even though they are red letters, and stuff that really I should have got on top of, just didn't do it. And having them come into my home, you know, it was a bit, I would say, I felt a little bit exposed, but afterwards, just the way it was dealt with and how they handled me as an individual, I didn't feel judged. I didn't feel like, you know, I was going to be penalised. They were actually genuinely going to help me through this.
Well, I've been made bankrupt as of 13th of March, so it's a lot more manageable, because any debts that I do have now, I only have one set, which is rent arrears, which I didn't include, and my tenancy office really brilliant about that, insofar that I'm paying the debt back. But it's a lot less stressful. I don't have any letters coming through the door anymore. The two that did continue to send them after my bankruptcy, I simply contacted them, gave them a Royal Court of Justice number and reference number. They emailed me or phoned me and said, sorry, we will stop harassing you. So it's enabled me to focus on getting better. I'm still in recovery and going back to work, not in my previous vocation, but it's allowed me to focus and get my priorities right for the things I need to do in moving forward now.
Well, I think CAP are an amazing organisation, amazing charity. I love what they stand for. They're a Christian-based organisation. They come into your home and they make things really personal. They give you a lot of help, a lot of support, and it's the little things that they do. You know, Christmas just gone, they came with, because I have 2 children, like I said, loads of present for the children. And I remember my daughter coming home saying, who brought all these presents under the tree? It was just untold, and it was such a lovely time. I must say, they've been amazing, really good.
You can't imagine, if you've never been in serious debt before, you can't imagine the weight that's lifted and the peace that you feel. It's just a great big blessing, and for the rest of my days I should thank God for using CAP to use the people that are generously given their time and their money, their finances themselves, to help people like us.